So I've started recording it now. And again, I will try not to say the names, but anybody who is ready to answer, please answer once I ask the questions. Okay. So let me share my screen also. Okay. Let me know once you guys are able to see my screen.
I can see it.
Wonderful. And let me turn off my video because nowadays there's a new problem that I'm facing. I cannot see good with my glasses, so I have to take out my glass. I don't want you guys to see me without glasses and get confused who this gentleman is. Okay. So let's look at the topics that we have learned in last 3 4 weeks. Okay. So let's pick up something called decimal to fractions. We learned how to convert decimal to fractions. So let me check who all have joined now. So I can still see Pranav, Ishan, and Gitesh. And Gitesh has not been talking yet. Um, just let me just remind one more time. Please ask Shalini, Ayush, and who's Abhik. And Gitesh to join. Just one second. I have to remind one more person. Okay. Um, ask Ayush to join. Okay. All right. So let me go back. Okay. Pranav also dropped. Fine. So when anybody joins, just let me know who joined. Okay. So that I'm
Okay.
okay.
Pranav.
Pranav joined back again. Cool. So um, so first topic that we're going to talk about is decimal to fraction conversion. I have 00152. Who can convert this to a fraction? 0.00152. Yes, Gitesh. Tell me.
Mm, put the 152 on the
Uh
numerator.
huh.
Then put 0 0 0 0 0 1 1 0 0 0 0 0.
Okay. Does everybody agree? Pranav, do you agree if this is correct?
Yes.
Okay. Ishan, do you agree?
Yes.
And do you guys remember how did we do it? So what Gitesh did is correct. Gitesh, do you want to explain how did you do it?
So I just wrote the 152 and then I just put the 1 as a decimal, then 0 0 0 0 0. Four zeros because there's
5 zeros.
four, five. Yeah, 50 is because there's 5 digits behind the decimal.
Decimal. Yes, exactly. That's exactly what we need to do. So if there's a if there's a decimal number, if you to convert that into fraction, you just pick the number, exclude all the zeros, don't count them. I mean zeros before the number, okay? So let's say if you have point one five
But
six,
why do you need to add the 1?
that is how it is.
Because it's for the decimal.
So see now let's look at this. Point one. Okay. If I have to convert this into a fraction, what will I do? I just exclude the zero, which is before the decimal, okay, or before the number. So I'll write one, or I can write zero also. Let it be, okay. And then instead of a decimal, you'll write a one, and then how many digits? You have one digits, so it becomes 1/10. Now the question that you are asking, Ishan, is why you have to put a one?
No, nice.
Oh,
Ishan joined. Wait, not Ishan. I
Ayush,
forgot his. I.
Ayush, yeah, yeah. Hello, Ayush.
I
Okay. So, Ayush, in today's class, we are just doing a revision of what we have learned and we are just checking. Okay. So, the topic that we picked up first was decimal to fraction conversion. And some of you already know how do we convert. There's a question that Ishan has asked. We'll come to that. So, first thing is how do we convert a decimal to a fraction? So, the approach, okay. I do you remember how will we convert this one?
What?
Whatever the, how do you convert this decimal into a fraction? Whatever number you have, you put everything without the decimal, okay? And
Okay.
then instead of a decimal, you'll write a one. There's a decimal, I'll write a one. And then count how many digits you have after decimal. You have two digits. You'll put two, three zeros. And zero before three doesn't have any meaning, so you can write this as 3/100. Now, the question that Ishan asked just now is, why do I have to put a one? To convert this, why do I have to put a 1 for a decimal? Okay. Now, look at things the opposite way. If I have 3 to be divided by, let's say, 10. Okay. What do we do? I put a decimal because 3 is smaller than 10. And decimal is my opportunity, which if I mean, decimal is like a magic thing. Okay. If I put a decimal, that means I can add a zero at every stage of my division. So let's say if I put a decimal, that means I can add a zero. Only one zero. Okay. Now see, 10 times 3 is 30. So 10 times 3 is 30. What happened? 10, come, this one. 3, this was 3 divided by 10. That's what we were trying to do. What it became? Zero point 0.3. This is the answer. Yeah. Now, think of it the reverse way. How many digits you have? One digit. You have 10. This decimal is 1. So you can write 3/10 as 0.3. How is that relationship working? Is this way. Now let's try dividing 3/100, let's say. If you have to divide 100 by 3. No, let me not do that. This one will make it a little complicated for you guys. I don't want you guys to get confused right now. Let's say I have to divide 8 by 9. Okay. I would not want to do that also. 1 divided by 8. Okay, let me do this. I'm just picking up the right sum so that I don't make it complicated for you guys at the calculation level itself. Okay, there are things to be learned, but I'm not trying to teach you guys something which is complicated right now, because we have to focus on the concept. Now let's say if I have to divide 1 by 8, this is what we are trying to do, and find out what is the value of decimal. 1 is smaller than 8. I need some magic, which is a decimal, which gives me a 0. Now 10 is bigger than 8. 8 ones are 8. What is remaining is 2. Now I said decimal gives me 0, 1 0 magically at every stage. So since I have a decimal, 1 0 comes here. And I can keep getting 1 0 till my math goes on. Okay. So that's the beauty of decimal. So we learned how to convert a fraction to a decimal also in previous classes. That's what we are practicing right now. So 8 ones are 8, remaining is 2. Now this decimal gives you a 0 magically. Now it's 20. 8 times 2 is 16. What is remaining is 4. 4 is smaller than 8, but I have a decimals magic. That gives me a 0. 8 5s are 40. Done. All done. So my answer is 0.125. Is 0.125. 1 by 8 is equal to 1.125. Now, this and this are the same actually. It's just that it is simplified. Now, you will see that this becomes, I can convert this to a fraction like the way Gitesh was telling, right? 0.125 by 1000. This decimal brings 1, and then we have 3 digits. So 1, 2, 3. 125 by 1000. So this point 1 by 8 is nothing but a simplified form. Okay, you can always write 125 into 8 equals to 1000. So anyways, don't get confused about this one. Coming back to Ishan's point, let's pick up a simpler problem, saying, okay, why do I have to do it like 1 instead of a decimal? So let's do some sums. Okay, let's say 3 divide 10 by 3, 4 by 10, 5, not 5, I'll say 6 by 10. Let's do three of them and see what happens. We are doing 3 by 10. So now 3 is smaller than 10. I use the decimal magic to get a 0, and this becomes 30. So 3 by 10 is equal to 0.3. Okay. Now let's do come on. Let's do 4 by 10 also. Divide 4 by 10. 4 is smaller than 10. I need the decimal magic. Decimal brings 40 here. 10 times 4 is 40. Okay, so this became 0.4. Now look at another one. So I'll tell you, Ishan, why I'm doing all this. Okay. Now let's do 6 by 10, meaning divide 6 by 10. 6 is smaller than 10, so I have to make it bigger. Decimal magic helps me with that. 10 times 6 is 60. This is 0. Now notice this. 3 by 10 became 0.3. 4 by 10 became 0.4. 6 by 10 became 0.6. What's happening here? What's the difference? Everything is the same. Say 3. Now what's happening is you have by 10. 0 is for the decimal after this one. This one decimal place we have after decimal, that's 0. This decimal is accounting for 1. Likewise, if you look at 4 by 10, that becomes 0.4. So 4 remains 4, and this 10 moves it by 1 decimal. And you can convert. So we are just trying to draw that relationship. If my 3 by 10 is equal to 0.3, how do I relate? I mean, we have already done this calculation. We now know this. We're just trying to find a shortcut. And this shortcut tells me that, okay, I have one digit after decimal, and this is the thing. One digit is 10 and this decimal. If I have to remove all the decimal from the numerator and convert this like a fraction, this is my best option. If I have 5 by 10, this becomes 0.5. What is changing here? If I'm converting to this or other way around, if I'm converting this to this, what is happening? My decimal is bringing here 1, and since I have one digit, it's making it this. If I had the same thing to be done like 5 by 100, it would have been 0.05. Okay, this is this is as per the calculation by simply dividing by the number and getting the decimal. Here we are just trying to relate it. See, this is this, and then 10 for every decimal. So, so Ishan and for everybody, right? The This is nothing but just a convenient way to do the calculation without actually doing calculation. If I had to convert this into a fraction, I had to find out different ways to do so. What I'm doing is I'm saying, okay, fine. I have found a shortcut based on what we have done. I will put a 1 instead of this, and one digit brings 10. That's it. So there's no calculation involved. We just have to remember the conversion or how the conversion happens. Did I explain it? Did I confuse you guys? What did I do? Ishan, question to you. Why did we even put a 1 for the decimal? My answer to you is this is based on how the calculation is done, and whatever we are doing is just a convenient method for doing the calculation right. That's all.
Okay.
So it is just a shortcut that is derived based on the calculation. Nobody will tell you that okay, this is how it has to be done. 3 by 10 or dividing 3 by 10 gets you 0.3. Now 3 by 10 equals to 0.3. Now this is the calculation that we have got here. Okay. And how we are relating that is what we are seeing just now. That okay, 0.3 is equal to 3 by 10. Okay, how do I infer that? How do I relate that? So that is why a shortcut is okay, fine. I can always do it like this. This and decimal brings 1, and one digit is 10. So 3 by 10. Okay, this and this are the same. So whatever conversion approach that we are using here, that is in line with this math. So no problem. So basically, this is just a interpretation that we have drawn from the calculation that okay, if I have a decimal like a decimal number like this, and if I have to convert that into a fraction, I don't have to do any calculation. I will just use whatever we have learned. This brings a 1, and two digits brings two zeros. Done. Now I can simplify this. I can keep it like this, whatever I want to do. Okay. So we looked at decimal to fraction, fraction to decimal both. Now let me give one sum for you guys to convert fraction to decimal. I'm giving you guys 4 by 20. Convert that to decimal. Let's see who all can do it quickly. Start doing it. 4 by 20, convert that to a decimal. And if you get stuck, don't worry. I'll be solving it. Don't worry about it. I want you all to try.
I think it's 0.02.
I think it's 0.2.
I think it's 0.02.
0.02.
0.02? Okay, I got one answer. Okay. Let's see.
I think it's 0.020.
020.
Oh.
Okay. I got two answers. Both are the same actually. I can add as many zeros I want, right? So I can say 0.020000000 100 times. That's also fine. So yeah, for 0.02 or 0.020 are the same actually.
I
That-
think it's 0.2.
Okay, I got another answer which is different. 0.2. Okay. Any new answer? I think Pranav has told, Gidesh has told, Ishan also has told. Ayush, Shalini, do you have one of these two answers or different answers?
I did tell you, like, at the first.
First one, 0.2.
Yeah. No,
This one.
the second one.
Okay. Okay. So Shalini also has given an answer. Gitesh has given an answer. Ayush, I'm just waiting for you before we validate these answers.
0.02.
0.02. 0.02. Okay. So basically, in a nutshell, we got two answers, 0.2 and 0.02. If some of you want to play with it further, you can add zeros here. You can add zeros here also. But essentially, for me, based on whatever I heard you guys, the other two answers I have. And the question was converting 4 by 20. I will not question who got what and how. I will also do it like a student. Okay. 4 by 20. What does it mean? 4 is to be divided by 20. Okay. Now, I know that 4 is less than 20. So I need some magic. I'll put a decimal. That gives me a way to add a zero. Only one zero, remember. Okay. Decimal gives you only one zero. Now, how many times are 20 is 40? 22 is 40. Okay. Done. So this was the right answer. Now, some of you got the answer right, some of you did not. And the reason is minor, what do you call, rush or a hurry. That's where we go wrong. So let's look at this again. When you have to divide 4 by 20, don't start doing it. Just think, okay, 4 is smaller than 20. It will not work. I need to increase the number so that I can do something. And my only way is a decimal. Decimal gives me 1 0, only 1 0. And now it is more than this. Done. So this is why I was saying only 1 0. Now I'll explain you guys the reason for this. Okay, let's. I mean, I was trying to avoid a complex question or a little difficult calculation, but let's do it. Let's say if I have to divide 2 by 100. Okay, 2 by 100. I know that if I use a decimal, it gives me 1 0. Only 1 0. At every step. At every step. Now 20 is still less than 100. This is where, now if I want to add 0, if I want to add two zeros, I will add two zeros. This makes it this. If I add 10, it adds 10. So decimal gave me 20. If I add 10, it makes it this. If I add two zeros, it adds two zeros. If I add three zeros, it adds three zeros. So this is the difference between the zeros and the decimal. Decimal gives you the ability to add one zero at every step. At every step, you have given this. Let's say this one, something you do, and some reminder you get. Sorry, some remainder you get. Decimal will add one zero by default, only one zero. And then, if that is enough, you can continue. If it's not enough, you can add one zero or two zeros to increase the number. So that's the difference I would want you guys to remember that okay, if you are using a decimal that adds one zero at every step, and if that is not enough, you can add extra zeros after the decimal to make the number bigger. Let's see. Somebody has raised hand. Gitesh. Yes.
Can I tell you the answer for that?
Yes. Answer you can certainly tell. Yeah, you can tell the answer. I'm going to complete this sum, right? So yeah, go ahead. Tell the answer.
102.
1002.
Wait.
Point 102 was one answer. Somebody said point
Sorry,
zero.
I said
Yeah.
I suddenly got stuck. Like
Yeah. Can you
I thought like 0.02.
point 0.02? Yeah.
What was the answer for the 4/20 again?
4/20. I will not remember the answer. I will just remember how to solve it. Okay. I'll put a decimal, gives a 0. 20 is bigger than 40 is bigger than 20. 20 times 2 is 40. Done. 0.2. So 0.2 was my answer. 0.2 is doesn't look complete. So you always put a 0 in the beginning. 0.2. That's all. Okay. So while doing the calculation, okay, don't try putting a 0 and everything in the beginning. Okay. Simple thing. Okay. Let's say if you're trying to do 2 by 100. Some of you gave me 0.02. So one of you told 0.002 also. Okay. I will not look at the answers because if I look at your answer, I will get biased, right? I don't want to make a mistake. What I will do, math is about doing myself. Let me do it myself. Now I'll put a decimal. I'll not worry about the zero point decimal, 0 point something. No, I'll just say decimal. Decimal gives me a 0 at every step. Simple. Now this is not enough. 20 is less than 100. I need to make it bigger. Okay. Only way I can do is I cannot add another decimal. I cannot say, okay, decimal gives me a 0. So decimal, decimal, it gave me a 0. Okay. It is less. So I'll put one more decimal. No, don't do that. There's no two decimal. Okay. You can have only one decimal. So after you put the first decimal, you got a 0. It is less. Say, okay, I want to increase it. Increase it. Now 100 times 2 gives me 200. Done. This is my answer. Now my answer is 0.02. I got this answer. And it doesn't look complete. So, okay, fine. I'll add a 0. After I got everything, then I'll put a 0. Because if you try putting a 0 in the beginning, that might get you confused. And maybe that is one of the reasons why some of you are getting extra 0. Some of you said my answer is 0.2. Some of you said that my answer is 0.002. And maybe it's because of that 0, the decimal you're trying to put a 0 in the beginning, and that's what is getting you confused. So don't try putting a 0 and everything in the beginning. Start with a decimal, that's okay. And then you will see. Now, let's do something more. Okay. Let's say if you have to convert this into a decimal, how will you do it? I want you guys to solve this because this is where we are learning. This is a mixed fraction or improper fraction. And once you convert this to a decimal, it will give you something before the decimal and something after the decimal both. I'm waiting for two answers before I start solving it for you guys.
0.7.
0.7. Okay. That is one of the answers. Okay. Let's see.
Wait, like if you're doing 7 divided by 6, then 7 is supposed to be in the bracket, right? Like 7 divided by 6, not 6 divided by 7, right?
Yeah, 7 divided by 6.
Okay.
7 is divided by 6. This is how I will read it.
Okay. I think it's 0.8.
Let's see. See, I'll give you guys one clue, okay? 0.8 is one of the answer, but I will say this is not. See, always look at this. If your numerator is bigger than the denominator, that means it'll be more than 1 for sure.
Sir, I think it's 1.16 and 66666666666666666 and go on.
Yeah, it'll go on.
I think
And
that's my answer.
yeah, that is other answer, okay? So this one, I'm not saying what Gitesh said is correct or not, but I can clearly see that since my numerator is bigger than denominator, it is more than one. So that's what I'm seeing. So that makes me believe that this could be a possible right answer. Let everybody solve it, and then I will come back to doing it in front of you guys. I'm hoping everybody is doing it. I mean, right or wrong is fine, but not doing it is not an option. Do it.
Sir,
Yeah.
I got what 1.166666.
Okay. Okay. So that also seems to be a correct answer because my numerator is bigger than the denominator. So it has to be more than one. So whatever Pranav and Gitesh have got so far, that looks correct to me. I will still not trust anybody because math is about doing it. I will do it and then only we will see. I mean, see, when I'm saying I'm not trusting you guys, that doesn't mean I'm not trusting you guys. I'm saying math as a subject is about doing it yourself. So even if I say something, you guys don't have to just believe me and agree to it. We'll Always try solving it by yourself. Okay. Ishan, go ahead. You're saying something.
That was an accident. I didn't need to put my hand up.
I'm sorry.
He said it.
That was an accident. I didn't need to put my hand up.
Okay, okay. I was seeing that your hands were raised. Okay. Is everybody ready? Ayush and Salini? Did you guys do it?
1.16.
1.16. Okay. Salini?
Sorry.
Yeah.
0.8.
Okay. So see again, when I ask you guys to do the sum, again you could go right or you could go wrong. That's perfectly fine. Okay. So don't be shy that okay, my number is different, my answer is different from Gitesh, or Gitesh's number is different from Pranav. Don't worry about it. Still do it. Okay. You might be doing wrong, you might be doing it right, and that will get clarified. But make sure that you do it and you do that in the piece of paper, so that when I'm doing it for you guys, at least you can validate where you have gone wrong. Now let's do it. 7/6 is what I'm trying to find out. So like I say, I don't trust anybody and I don't ask you guys to trust me either. So let's do it. 7 is to be divided by 6. Very simple. Now 7 is bigger than 6. Okay, I can do something. 6 1s are 6, 6 2s are 12. 12 becomes bigger than 7, so I'll go with 6 1s are 6. Okay. What is remainder? 1. Now there's no number left. So I have to for me to be able to continue, I have to get some magic power or some magical power, and that is coming from decimal. Decimal gives me a 0 at every stage. Now you will see the beauty of what I was saying. 10 is bigger than 6. 6 1s are 6. 6 2 are 12. So I can go to 6 1s are 6. What is remaining is 4. Decimal gives me 1 0 at every stage. 40. 6 6 are 36. What is remaining is, let me write this thing. Oops. Let me write this thing here. What is remaining is 40 minus 36 is 4. Okay. Now this decimal gives me one more 0. 6 6 are 36. Remainder is 4. Decimal gives me one more 0. 6 6 are 36. Remainder is 4. 6 6 are 36. Remainder is 4. 6 6 are 36. I'm adding 1 0 to every stage because decimal gives me that power. And that is what Gitesh and Pranav and some of you were saying, that this is 1.166666. Okay. And this will continue. Since you know that there is no solution you're going to get. Every time you're getting a 4 as a remainder, decimal gives you a 0, makes it 40, 60 36. Remainder is 4. And that continues. So you will probably stop after 3, 4, 5 times because you know that there is no end. Now, two things here. One is, you guys saw the power of decimal, meaning once you put a decimal, it gives you a 0 at every stage. It gave you a 0 here, give 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 you a 0. And it will keep on giving 0 till you want to do the math. Okay. That is one. Second thing that we observed was, always before you start doing it, right? Like the theory I always prescribe, Tran. Doing it comes towards the end. Okay. The Nike comes towards the end. Before you start doing it, you have to do a lot of reading, you have to do a lot of analysis. And that is what I meant by this. You look at this number, 7/6. What the analysis would be that, okay, 7 is to be divided by 6. That is the first finding. Second thing, okay, my numerator is bigger than denominator, meaning it will be more than 1. Let's say if I have 25/8, I clearly see this is bigger than 8. Now, 8 1s are 8, 8 2s are 16, 8 3s are 24. Okay, if it was 24 by 8, what would have been my answer? I would have written this as 8 3 are 24 and 8. Tic tac toe. My answer was 3. So 24 by 8 would have been 3. It is 25 by 8. So instead of 24, it is 25. So it will be little more than 3. Certainly more than 1. Right? So before you start doing the math, you know that okay, if my answer is more than 1, or here in this case more than 3, I might be going the right direction. Let's say if you do some calculation, you are doing the division, dividing by 8. For whatever reason, you got 0.642. This is an alarm saying that this cannot be less than 1. So that is the part of analysis. Now let's see who is raising hand. Yes, Salni.
Sir, like in the number,
Mm-hmm.
it says like there is fractions.
Mm.
Feels like the numerator must be the one that's divided. There's a
Ye-
numerator.
Yes. So that is what, let's say, numerator, that must be divided by the denominator. So that is what we are doing here, right? Dividing 7 by 6. This is the numerator. Something that is the top, that is numerator. Whatever is on the ground floor or below, that is the denominator. That, see, down is denominator. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So now, did you understand how did we do this calculation?
Yes, I did it a different way. I
Right.
put the denominator,
Yes.
the one that's divided.
Right. No, I was sensing that, and that's a very normal problem that happens actually. So always read it. See, that's why in this approach of mine, right? When I teach you guys, this is trust. Trust you don't do every time you solve a sum. It starts with read. Read and read and read. If you read the question multiple times, your question becomes easier. Now read this. 7 by 6. 7, see, 7 by 6. 7 divided by 6. 7 divided by 6. So when you read, if somebody says, okay, 15 by 2, 15 by 2, divide 15 by 2, right? When you read that loud and clear, you will know, you'll see, okay, 15 by 2, 15 by 2. If I say 15 by 2 and I do like this, I'm not dividing 15 by 2, I'm dividing 2 by 15. Correct? So English has to be right for the math to be right. And that is why read plays a very important role. Okay? Always, I mean, I mean, whatever mistakes we commit now, these are trivial in nature. It doesn't bother me. But I'm just trying to make sure that you guys read the things correctly. Every sum, you will come across a lot of word problems, and it will come down to reading the sum again and again. Always read the question with a lot of patience. Okay, don't rush. Okay. So we did revision of fraction to fraction to division. Sorry, fraction to decimal, decimal to fraction. Any doubt so far? No. Yes.
Yes.
Who has doubt?
I have no doubt.
No doubt. Okay. Okay. I'm just trying to confirm. Now,
Can you
yeah,
give us one more problem?
one problem for converting fraction to decimal.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'll give you guys two problems. 7 by 8 and 9 by 6. You guys do it and let me know once you are done. 7 by 8, 9 by 6. Convert both of them to fraction. Sorry, both of them to decimal. And I want everybody to do it. Everybody must do it. Being right or wrong is fine.
So
Yep.
I got the answer for number 1.
Okay. Get both the answers and note it down and let me know.
Same.
Okay.
Can you put the other problem?
There are two problems 7 by 8, 9 by 6.
Okay, thank you.
So I got the answer for both of the questions.
Okay. And how much is that?
Same.
For the first one, I got 0.875.
I
Okay.
agree.
Okay.
And then for the,
It's
and for the sec-
I'll go
and
on
then
the one. So Pranav got 0.875 for the first one. How about the second one?
for the second one, I got 1.5.
I
One.
agree.
Okay. So that is for Gitesh also. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Gitesh and Pranav got the same answer. Let's see what Ishan, Ayush, and Salni are saying.
I messed up on the first probability, so I'm restarting it.
Okay.
What is the second one again?
9 by 6.
No, I mean the first one.
First one was 7 by 8.
Okay.
I agree.
What is that?
I agree.
You also agree? No, don't agree. Tell me the answer. Because I just want to make sure that. Tell me what was the answer, Ishan, for the first one?
Actually, for me, yeah, I got 0.7, and for 9 divided by 6, I couldn't, like, I didn't know what to do.
So 0.7 for 7 by 8.
Yeah.
And for 9 by 6?
I don't know. I don't know how to do that.
Why don't you try doing it and tell me? You
I
try.
didn't.
Uh-huh.
Wait. What is the second problem?
9 by 6.
I got my answer for the first one, 0.875, and the second one, 1.5.
Wonderful. That matches with what Pranav and Gitesh also got. Okay.
Okay.
So I will give maybe 2 minutes to Shalini to finish the Shalini and Ishan to finish the two sums, and then I will just
I got 1.5 for 9 divided by 6.
okay. So Ishan, for you, the first one was 0.7 and second one was 1.5. Okay. Okay. Shalini, are you ready? So 1 more minute for Shalini and then we'll start.
Yeah, I got 0.8
Hmm.
and 1.5.
Okay. So you guys seem to be pretty close. Everybody seems to have gotten the matching answers. Let's see how matching they are. And okay. So I'm sharing my screen again. And I don't trust any of you. And I'll keep saying that, okay? Because I want you guys to believe in the fact that math is not about believing anybody. Math is about doing it. So my first question was 7 by 8. And second question was 9 by 6. Okay. Let's do this one first. 7 by 8. 7 by 8. 7 divided by 8. That is what my question starts with. 8 is smaller than 7. 8 is, see, 7 by 8. When you write this one, 7 by 8, 7 by 8, and then you can compare, okay, you're going the right direction. Now, 7 is smaller than 8. So I need some magic. And that magic comes only from decimal. One more thing here. I was saying that you put a 0, you get a 0. But that is after you get a decimal. You cannot say, okay, I am putting a 0 and then, no, this will be wrong. Okay. So the decimal 0, adding a 0 for 0 comes after you have a decimal. Okay. So first thing is decimal. Now 7 is smaller than 8. I need some magic of a decimal to add a 0. 7. 8 8 is 64. 8 9 is 72. So 8 8 is 64. Remaining is 6. 8. Now this 6 is smaller than 8. Decimal anyways gives me 1 0. So I got a 0. Now 8 5 is 40. 8 6 is 48. 8 7 is 56. 8 7 is 56. What is remaining is 4. Decimal gives me 1 0 magically. 8 5 is 40. Okay. So that's why I see knowing the table, remembering the table helps. So make sure that you guys are remembering the tables well. Now, the first one I got 0.875. This is 0.875. Most of you got the right answer. Some of you who did not get it right, either you did not complete the sum or you might have missed something in the step. So just validate this. Watch this video after the class also to verify where you are going wrong. Okay. It's not about one sum going wrong. It's about making a mistake as a pattern. We all need to identify that pattern where I'm making mistake. So once you catch that, then your chances for being right will improve. Now the second one, 9 by 6. 9 by 6. 9 divided by 6. 9 is getting divided by 6. Okay, looks fine. So see, I'm reading it like a child, right? 9 by 6. 9 divided by 6. Now this gives me a clarity. Kids are very smart actually. When you do things like a child, you will see that you're doing it right. Okay. You guys are all child, right? So I'm saying don't be shy. 6, 9 by 6, 9 divided by 6. Read it loud and clear. There'll be no confusion. Now 9 is bigger than 6. I don't have to borrow anything. I don't have to do any decimal right now. 6 1 just 6. Remainder is 3. Now 3 is smaller than 6. Now I have to do some borrowing. And that is what I start with a decimal. It gives me a 0. 6 5 are 30. No? So my answer is 1.5. So look at this. Be it 7 by 8, be it 9 by 6, or be it anything. Sorry. My approach remains the same. I look at what is to be divided by what, then check if that number is bigger or smaller. If it is bigger, then I know I can just use the table and go ahead. If the number to be divided is smaller, sorry, if the numbers to be divided is smaller, then that is when we use decimal to add zeros to make the number bigger, and then go ahead with the calculation. Only thing that we learned or that we need to keep in mind is decimal gives us the power to add as many one zero at every step of the calculation, meaning every time I'm doing division, at every stage of the division, I get 1 0 through decimal. That's the only thing that we have to remember. Okay, so most of you got the answers right. Any of you who did not get it right or missed by something, it is not because you don't know it. It is because you need to practice a little bit of extra care when doing the sums next time. So math is all about doing practice and lots of practice and being careful, reading the questions over and over again, and then doing it. Okay. So that pretty much brings us to the end of the class. So we focused on fractions to decimals to fractions. And this is a topic, this is a concept that you need to be very, very clear about. Because be it your percentage, be it your speed, be it your other calculations, be it any part of calculation, be it any number problem, digits, percentage calculation, interest calculation, deals, financial literacy, everything revolves around this calculation. So these calculations you guys have to be very thorough, very right, very accurate, very much perfect. So keep practicing these sums. Let's do some more topics in the class tomorrow. Okay, that we have learned in last 3 4 uh, uh, weeks actually, and we'll keep on doing this. I mean, because by doing the practice, by checking what we know versus what we don't know, it gives us the assurance that yes, we have learned it right. Yeah. So this week is a test week. I know you guys have finished your start test. There's not much of a pressure right now. You guys are about to finish your school year, so that's why I'm just doing a recap by asking, arranging these classes to ensure uh, we recall those concepts so that when we go to the next grade, we are ready. Yeah, Gitesh, you're saying something.
My school year is going to end in 2 weeks.
Yep. And that is when I will put you in level 2. Gitesh, you are in grade 5. Pranav, you are in which grade?
I'm in fifth grade.
You're in 5th grade. So Pranav and Gitesh will go to level 2 actually. Level 2 is for 6th to 8th grade, right? So um, after you guys finish your school year, we will jump on to level 2. And that's why, this week and next week we'll make sure that we kind of brush up some of the concepts, make sure that whatever we have learned in last 6 8 weeks, we can recall those, and then we start jumping into being the part of the next level. Yeah. All right. Okay. That brings us to the end of the class. Salini, you had something to ask?
I have nothing.
Okay. Then enjoy the rest of your day. We'll talk again tomorrow.